Good morning. All right. So thank you for joining us. There's nobody that's going to be on the call today, and that's totally okay. For those of you who are newer to Mom and Pop Web Stuff, I am Kate Corcoran. This is Jeffrey Corcoran, and we own Mom and Pop Web Stuff. And we have been starting to do a monthly meetup with our clients. And this is like the fifth one we've done. We do it so that we can provide a space where you guys can ask us questions, get some live training. You can submit your questions beforehand, and we will do our best to like shape it around what you guys are needing. And it's been going really well. I've been really enjoying it. We do it once a month, second Tuesday of the month. Oh no, second Friday of the month at 9:30 a.m. And yeah, we don't have anybody because it's Easter break. Y'all are gone, and that's totally cool. So we are actually home now. It's been kind of chaotic over here. Jeff, do you want to tell them a little bit of what's been going on with us?
Yeah, we've been living in a van down by the river mostly. I actually took this past week and this coming week off. We were actually debating on whether or not we wanted to even do the den this week because, yeah, I'm technically on vacation. Um, and but we wanted to keep things consistent. We're getting a bunch of renovations done on the house, probably over the next, I don't know. It's supposed to probably be about 2 weeks, so that probably means 6 months. And we'll see how that all goes. But we are living in a travel trailer, actually provided by one of our clients, who is awesome. And
Yes, thank you so much.
yeah. So if you need an awesome bookkeeper, just let us know and we can point you in her direction. But anyways, we are living out there for the most part, and life has been interesting. However, we've been treating it very much like a vacation. So yeah, trips to Canada yesterday, and what did we do the day before?
Oh my goodness. We did a little bit of everything. I can't even remember. The days have
Yeah,
all melted together.
I know we were debating on whether or not to go to Canada because Kate, with her,
Oh, we went for
um,
a hike in Cheektowaga. That's what we
yeah, went
did.
for a hike in Cheektowaga. So with Kate's
That was fun.
MCAS, we have to take things day by day. But she was actually able to manage going up to the Butterfly Conservatory. We went to a restaurant we really like, and then today we've decided we're doing this, and then maybe a little bit of home upkeep, and then nothing, a whole lot of nothing. Um, so yeah, that's what's going on in our lives. We hope that you're having an awesome Easter break. We hope you had an awesome Easter. Um, and we just yeah, so that's where we're at. Um, but I think that's the personal stuff. In terms of what we're doing business wise, we've got different clients that we are dealing with. Some with just basic upkeep. Some who one of our clients, we are ending round one of their redesign. They needed a full-on redesign, um, and we'll be starting round two of that. One of the cool things about how we do our process, I don't know, we were in tops or coming out of tops, and I was just chatting with Kate, and I'm like, the way we have our process set up the way we do is so that we can focus on the right things at the right time with our website. So the first thing we do is we talk to you about what your needs are. And after we get a general idea and a general scope of what your needs are, we actually build out your design. But a lot of the text that you see on your site are going to be general headings, and then you're going to see a lot of like Greek text. It's going to be gobbledygook. And that's by design, that's intentional. That's not because we didn't want to do the content yet. It's because we're trying to give you the opportunity to basically say, we need to reformat this. I don't like this page. We need to change this page to that. And so basically, A, we're trying to not do work that needs to be redone, but B, for a lot of people, and this is something I actually learned working with my wife, they need to be able to see something and touch something before they can say, yeah, this is what I'm looking for, or no, this is something I want different. And with this process, I want to say that with every client we've had, I can't think of an exception, to be quite honest. By the end of our second round, what they have is what they were looking for. The colors, the design, the content, the way they want to market, their voice, the whole nine is what they were looking for. And so we've had one or two clients who weren't happy with us by the end, and I think that's just the way business runs. But they still got the website that they asked for, and the website that they wanted. And that is what it is, and that's great. So we really do have a solid process. It works all the kinks out as we go, so there's not a lot of back and forth, and you don't have to think. We don't want you to have to think. I grew up, and when I say grow up, I meant I came up through in my career in a UI UX experience, and the number one rule of UI and UX is don't make me think. A user should come to a website, a person should come to a form or a tool, and they should just intrinsically know what to do and how to use it. And that's the way we kind of tried to build our process. Is you just come in and you say, oh, I like this, I hate this, I like this color, tweak this icon, and you should just know what you're doing. And we've really tried to do that. So I felt like that was a win as we were kind of going through this, because somebody was able to clearly articulate, oh, I like this, but I really want more of this on the homepage. And well, some people might have been like, oh, I didn't hit the mark. It was like, no, this is exactly why we did it this way. We wanted to make sure that they had a chance to say, we need more of this on the homepage. We need to focus more of that over here. And we were like 90% of the way there right from the get-go. And now we get to go in and put the content in and so on. So I was really excited about that. So anyways,
Yeah.
When you get to work with us, you really do get that bespoke and handheld feeling.
Yeah, I think that when we saw our clients' feedback, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And I won't go into the specifics of their feedback. That's their project. But like I read it after I talked with Jeff briefly, and I was like, oh, that's such a relief. Like we already have worked with this client. Somebody else was running the project prior, and it was just so easy working with them. Like it was no back and forth, no hubbub, no, they didn't question. And they're an established business, which is lovely. And we don't mind working with, new businesses who really, y'all just might not know what you're doing or what you want. And that's cool too. Like,
We
but
help with that.
yeah, when Jeff says, we've had some clients that, I don't know how you said it, but maybe we've missed the mark or whatever. um we have so learned from that, like that those were earlier experiences too. Like we haven't had a client, I think we've had like two out of all of our clients, and that's going to happen in business, I'm sure all of you know. But oh my goodness, like such an opportunity for us to learn how to communicate our process to our clients. And that's something that we get really passionate about. Is you could go a lot of different places to find a solo web designer, like, and a lot of great ones. Um, I think that something that we are good at and others are good at is learning how to communicate what we provide to our clients, because we're not typical. We're not going to give you 20 review phases and let you nitpick about this, or that. And but we can explain why we don't do that, and why we aren't going to be the type of person that you're looking for to do that, because at the end of the day it's yours. And that's the biggest distinction, is when you're renting a website from somebody, they better get it right because they're responsible for it. But we do these meetups so that you can learn how to do it, you can tweak it how you want it, and hopefully you can do it with us kind of along your side. So I'm excited about the den. uh, I am excited about, having clients coming back for redesigns, because we're 3.5 years in, right? Yeah. Yeah. 3.5 years in. So now we're going to start seeing clients start to come back for redesigns, and that's an exciting. Like, I'm excited about that. So yeah, so that's what's been going on with us. It's been a little crazy. Little bit of pivoting here and there. You guys are going to get an email from me right after this telling you, hey, sorry, I didn't send the recap this past month because, you know, I've been dealing with water damage and this, and that. So that's fun. And I loved that I could write that knowing who I was talking to, a bunch of other mom and pop shops who get it. So yeah, another thing is I just want to let you know, if you guys push referrals to us, you get $100 off your hosting, and we get to work with more people like you. And if you guys need ongoing work, we're here. But you know, if you don't, we're still here. Like, if you're on our hosting, you know, come to these events, come ask questions and everything. But if you need something a little more, we're available, and we're eager to take your money, and we're eager to work with you because we like you. I don't think there's a client that we have that we're like, ugh, that person. Like, that doesn't happen. So, but Jeff is going to go into a little bit of training. He's excited to toy with some Olli Pro stuff, Olli Pro features. He gets so nerdy about it. It's fun to listen to him talk about it because he's just like, I get so excited. So I'm going to hop off and take care of my kids who are still on Easter vacation.
All right. See you later, Kate. All right.
Bye.
So I'm going to share my screen. And all right. So this is an example demo site from Olli. We've gone over in the past on how to set up a quick site with Olli. Basically, how do we spin up a site, get a templated site out there, and just get things rolling. Quick, easy, and you can do it in about 10-15 minutes. So what I want to demonstrate now is one of the newer features. Mike just released it, I don't know, about a week or two ago. And it is really a fantastic thing that has been needed. And there was ways around it, absolutely easy ways around it, but now it's even easier. So one of the things you'll notice on websites is the idea of when a site gets smaller, for example, on a tablet versus on a phone versus on a desktop, the layout can sometimes change. And I've demonstrated that a little bit, maybe in your training or maybe even some of these, I can't really remember, that there are ways of handling that. And they're sometimes somewhat limited. There's some new features in Olli that I'm going to cover that will allow you to get some more granular control over those things. So I'm going to cover a couple of them. So first, we're going to probably hang out for the most part, at the beginning at least, in this area here. So this is just an example homepage. And we have here a header with some columns, some blocks here. And we're going to use some built-in features in the browser. I don't know how many people are familiar with these features, but if you go to More Tools and Developer Tools here, there is this feature here. And if I click on this, this will actually enable a cell phone view. And you can see that it actually closes it down, and this will allow you to choose which kind of cell phone you want. A bunch of iPhones. I can do like a Surface Pro, which is more like a tablet. And this will emulate, you can see the circle here that emulates like the touch area, stuff like that, okay? So you can kind of see how things lay out when you're on the tablet mode here. And then if I come back up here, I can get kind of the smaller cell phone kind of look here as well, okay? So kind of a nice tool. And again, this is just Dev Tools, and all I did is click this button. When you want to get rid of it, you click that, or I can close right out of it. So you really don't need to know that. I'm just kind of showing you how I'm doing it in case you want to get nerdy. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go into my console, which I have open right here, and I'm going to go into the home page, look at it. I'm going to scroll down to that section. Now, the first thing I want to show is one of the features that's actually been around for a while, but might actually be helpful for some people. So you can see here, we actually, okay, this is a grid, and you can see that there's these 3 items in this grid. If I click on this, let's see, second, let me do that. All right, let's do this then. All right, well, I already synced these. So there is the option to do syncing on this. And because I have these blocks synced, and I will show you how to do that in another block in a minute, if I make changes on these, it will actually update in all of these. So let me show you the feature first, and I'll show you how to do it in a minute. If I wanted to make this large for example, you can see I actually updated in all of these. And if I come down to perhaps here, now it's going to show me a liar. Typically we want to find a grid or, and yeah, here we go. Here's a grid. So if I come in here and I click on a block like this, or actually on the grid itself, there we go. You can see this block here. And this will say, okay, these blocks here are meant to be synced. I want all of these things to have the same style across the board. So I click Smart Sync, that's enabled. And so if I want to change this, for example, to be green, you can see that now all of these pieces here are going to be continually green. I can also do something like change this. This is a dumb idea, but again, just to demonstrate. Now all of these are going to have a kind of a teal background. And if I click on the background here, right now it's set to white, but I can set them to be dark green. Things of that nature. But this is one of those time-saving measures. So if I hit save here, just to prove that life is true. Okay, here's the section here. I'm going to hit the refresh button. Okay, and then here we have all of those updates, and now it looks oh so wonderful. Now, we might decide, hey, this doesn't look so great when we start getting into smaller screens. So I'm just going to click into the responsive mode here. And maybe want to make some changes. For example, when it's in cell phone mode, for example, we can see that this text here is centered. Okay, so I'm going to make some changes, and I'll show you how I go ahead and do that in different modes. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to close this for now, get rid of that tree view. And I want to come up here. Now this already existed in WordPress. One of the wonderful things about Olli and the way Olli's team, specifically Mike, but there are a couple guys on the team, they go out of their way to make all of their tools function as though it's built into WordPress. So you can see this tool here, it doesn't jump you out of Olli, it doesn't jump you out of the editor. For example, anybody who's used something like Elementor or Beaver Builder or Divi, a lot of these tools kind of jump you out of WordPress or out of the WordPress experience. It makes you feel like you're external to WordPress. But even like this animation button, this is something with Olli. This is something that's with Olli, but then this is WordPress, WordPress, WordPress. You really wouldn't know that if you weren't intrinsically familiar with not Olli. And so these are just nice little tools that come with Olli Pro. If you're on our hosting, we can get you Olli Pro if you don't already have a site you migrated over. Some of our clients migrated an existing site over, and so you might not have access to Olli. But on the whole, if you're on our hosting, we built your site or you got a new site with us, you can have Olli, and Olli Pro will come with it. So these here are like this, and then this button here has already existed. It would allow you to see what the site would look like in each of these modes. So let's just click on tablet. All right, so now we see, okay, this is what the site looks like in the tablet mode, but you know what? For some reason, I don't like how it looks because this is centered, or maybe it's not bold enough. So I'm going to say in tablet mode, I want this to be bold. I want it to be aligned left. And let's do, I don't know. Yeah, let's leave it like that for now. Let's not go too hog wild. Now, I can say, okay, that looks good, but what about on mobile? Okay, so this is what this looks like in mobile, and that's fine. But okay, this is too bold now. So let's unbold it and italicize, and we're going to make this align right, because why not? So I'm going to hit save. All right, so I'm going to move this out of the way. All right, so here we are. Right now we're in iPhone mode. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like in iPhone. So when I refresh, it should be italicized, it should not be bold, and it should be right aligned. Let's see if I'm a liar. All right, and just like we said, it is right aligned, it is italicized, and it's not bold. All right, what about if it's on tablet? Surface Pro 7. Let's see here. So if it is on tablet, let's double check here. Oh, you know what? I didn't save it. Let me go back. I'm just saving over here. Okay. But you can see it is left aligned. I just didn't save the bold. And there's the bold. And if you refresh here, there's that. Okay, so again, now it's centered again because we're on desktop. And we'll flip through them one more time. Okay, so this is tablet, left aligned, not centered, not right aligned. iPhone should be right. Apparently the bold and italics don't save place to place. I'll ping Mike about that. But we can see here that these pieces, or that those features for the most part are paying attention to that. So let's take a look at a couple other of the features here. We can even play things like the margining and padding. I'm off screen right now, but I'm going to put a ton of padding on the tablet mode. So right now we are on the iPhone. Let's do a quick refresh. Okay, we're going to see that it's going to cascade down. And then I'm going to move us up to tablet. Oops, sorry. Cascade is up here. So we should see this here as well. Let me try this again. I saved in the wrong thing. Live demos are always so much fun. Okay. It's mobile. Kick over to tablet. There's that. And I'm going to change over on desktop here. And I'm just going to pinch it in really far. All right. So if I hit refresh over here, here's the iPad. So let's pull out of this. So there's desktop. Desktop, I have it pinched in very far. You can see the padding on the side. If we go to tablet, you can see there's a bunch of padding on the top and sides right here. Let's check and see if that carried over. Tablet mode should sorry. Another way of doing this, I'll show you here. This will show not necessarily in tablet mode, but in tablet sizing. Okay. You can see the spacing is here and on the sides. And if I keep going, there we go, tablet mode here. Now, if I want to get the cell phone, I have to specifically enable like this. You can see it's in cell phone mode because it's right side and we have the spacing top and bottom. So it's a little bit tricky to emulate it on the desktop like this, but there you have it like that. Now, I want to show a couple more pieces with the sync. Let's disable all of this. All right. Now we're talking about the syncing and the mobile mode. Let's talk, actually, let's hop over to columns first. I believe I've shown this, but we're talking about responsive. If I can. All right, let's do this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to, in the designer here, I'm just going to insert 3 columns. One, two, three. So there's column number 1. Oh, and we're in mobile mode, so that, or tablet mode, so that's not going to work. So let's get back in desktop mode and click on column. There we go. All right, so let's do heading. We'll say column 1. And then this will, I'll explain why we're doing it like this in just a second. Column 2. And column 3. Okay, so we have these. Another thing we can do here is, again, we can sync it up. So there's that sync. I'm clicking on the parent container here, columns. And I can do things like, I don't know, I can make the text different size. I can make the text background. Actually, I think I can even click on the column itself and make the background a light teal color. I can do things like make the columns so they stretch to fill, and let's see, come over here. Yeah, let's just leave it there. I can get rid of the spacing too. That's on the parent column here. There. And if I wanted to, I could even add orders to each of the columns. And pay attention here how, let's get obnoxious green there. And on the third column here, I want to illustrate, let's do black. Okay. Okay, so we've got these columns here. Now, we're talking about responsiveness. And if I come to the settings area here, There we go. And I'm going to click on the first column. It's going to say, okay, order on mobile. You see I have column 1, 2, and 3. I can actually choose how these columns will stack up on a mobile. So the reason for that might be in here, maybe I have an image. Let's upload something just so you can kind of see it. There, we've got this worker guy here. Okay, so maybe I have a purely decorative element here. Okay, but in here, maybe I have some instructional text and links. Link, link, link. Okay, so on desktop and maybe even tablet, this looks really, really good. All right, maybe these columns all look good. Maybe even here, I've got further instructional text, link, stuff. Okay, so that's all well and good. However, if I were to go on mobile, and let's see if we can emulate that here. Okay, so here we have it. Now, if I collapse this down, now we're scrolling down on mobile and I just see worker dude, right? And worker dude's here, but I am missing all sorts of information. And really, I kind of want to see the information first because this isn't relevant. And maybe this information even pertains to this image. And so I'll want to display the information prior to the image. So another nice built-in feature to Olli, that is not to WordPress, is the fact I can change these things up. So I can say, for example, the image, I want number 3, column 2, I want number 1, and column 3, I want number 2. So if I hit save there, hit refresh here, okay, you can see as I scroll down now, I have my columns, but in a different order. And so I have information, information, decoration. Okay. And again, you can see the relevance here. As I'm scrolling down on the phone, imagine I'm sitting here flicking with my finger, and I have this kind of image of a guy. It may not be as relevant. It might be, I want to get the information first because it's more likely I want to fill out a form. I want to click information. This is important to get the information to the person prior to seeing the decorative element. So another quick mobile tool, again, that's something intrinsic to Olli, not built into WordPress itself. Another piece that we can do is, let's see if I have, I'm going to look and see if I have a certain plugin built in. Okay, great. Okay. So along with Olli Pro, you have the ability to install this. This is actually a third-party block or a third-party plugin that you do have access to. So I'm going to go into the plugin section here. This is called Block Visibility. This is put out by an author named Nick Diego. He's actually a really great guy. He puts out a lot of free plugins, and a lot of his plugins are just, again, they're built into things in such a way you wouldn't know if they were part of WordPress or not. I really appreciate his work. So just making sure it's there. I had to enable a small piece on it. for this particular instance. So I'm going to go to pages, all pages. Oh, I'm already there. Edit. And I'm going to come down here. And column. So you can see this visibility piece here. Now, typically it would have probably only been on this image as opposed to on the column. I just enabled something extra. Either way, it doesn't super matter. The rules are the same. I can make it so that browser and device, rule set, that's just the name. Device type mobile. Is mobile. Hide. Okay, so right now I said in this rule set, so device or browser type is any of the selected, mobile, and we want to hide. I'll go back over that one more time in a second. I just want to show what's going on. So if I hit refresh, I'm a liar. You might have to apply it. It won't apply. It doesn't always work to all with all pieces. So we'll try it on the image itself. Oh, I'm sorry. That's why it's paying attention to the device, and this is not a phone. But I might be able to spoof it. See if this will work. There we go. So yeah. So this will actually put out this actually tells the browser, it acts as though it is a phone, a mobile, and so it'll hide. Before it was just the browser was saying I'm not a phone, I'm a browser or a desktop, so it was still showing up. That's why it wasn't working. So now this is saying I am a mobile device, so hide that column. And you can see that's actually gone completely. Why would you want to do this? Again, there might be some cases where you just want to hide a decorative element on a mobile device because it's just too much. It looks nice on a desktop, might even look good on a tablet, but on mobile, it's just not an attractive device. So if we come here, refresh. Okay, so in this case, it's even hiding it on a tablet. So, all right, let's go back. I will disable this. And if I hit refresh here, then we have that back. And you can see again, the column order has changed. All right, so let's explain the rule set here a bit. We can do a bunch of different items. We can base it on the browser. Okay, we can say, okay, if it's this type of browser, we can do it based on the platform. Okay, Android, iOS, Linux, Mac. All right, or let's just remove this rule set. Reset all. All right, we can also do things based on screen size. And this makes it a little bit easier. We can say hide on desktop and hide on tablet, hide on mobile. So let's do it this way. Okay, this is just going to do it based strictly off of the screen size. So if we come here, hit refresh, still there. But as I shrink, okay, now it's gone. And that's based strictly off of the size of the screen. Comes back here because here it reads it as at least a tablet, if not a desktop size. If I choose hide on tablet, I'm doing this off screen. I'm going to hit save. Okay, and now you can see it's gone because this is saying, okay, this is roughly tablet sized. Now it's not working. And if I continue to do this, now he comes back. And I can do the inverse. I'm going to make it so he only shows up, on tablet or mobile. Okay, so here we are. This is desktop mode. And then he should suddenly appear as we get down to desktop or tablet size. There we go. We're down around tablet size, and here we are mobile size, and there he is still. Okay, so again, a small little feature that can give you a lot of power if you need it. Built into the browser. This is a third-party plugin. However, when you do the Olli Pro setup, it will actually ask you if you want to install this plugin. That's actually how I found this plugin, is doing the Olli setup. Let's just demo that real quick because it'll take 2 seconds. Let's go to plugins. Olli Pro is a plugin itself. So Olli is a theme. Olli Pro is a plugin. And if you go to extensions, you can actually see, where is it? There's the menu designer, animation designer. Advanced column controls. It's not in here. It must just be when you do setup. Install plugins. Advanced, block visibility right here. So you can always come into the setup wizard. You can choose what you want here and choose install. You can come down here. There's a few more. For example, this performance lab is a nice one if you're trying to figure out why you're not ranking for SEO, things of that nature. This one here allows you to create custom post types. We'll cover that some other time. That's a discussion all of its own, and things of that nature. So that's how you install that tool. Let's go back here. Now, normally this is where I'd be asking, are there any questions? So I'll have to anticipate a question. One of them might be, what types of visibility rules are there? Let's take a look here. So there's date and time. We can schedule to show things only after a certain amount of time. For example, let's say you want to make an announcement on your website, but you only want it to show up tomorrow morning after 9 a.m. You can do that. You can do seasonal. You can do, different things like that. What else? Other things you might care about. Location. This is more, I'm trying to think. This would have more to do if, let's say the author is, somebody, and then you want to hide a specific block. So on my specific page, you don't want to show a certain something. Again, this is kind of, I don't know when, I can't think of a use case for our client base specifically for that. User role, this is something that might be more useful if you had like a WooCommerce website. WooCommerce website has the idea of customers versus administrators. and you can have logged in versus not logged in. So there's public, logged out, logged in. So if you have something like a WooCommerce website, you can definitely display, hey, welcome so-and-so, stuff like that. And that would definitely be a useful piece there. As of right now, we only have a small handful of clients that use WooCommerce. Referral source, this is going to be if somebody came from a referral partner. Referral partner might be something like Facebook even, a Google ad, or even a referral partner, like maybe you have a partnership with another website. You can put specific pieces in here, and then display a certain block. What else? I think those are the main ones that most of our clients would use. You can do stuff with cookies. Cookies, for those who aren't aware, I know everybody's probably seen those little things, only allow some cookies or whatever. A cookie is a small piece of stored information. The information is stored on your computer, but websites have access to those cookies so that they can, quote unquote, remember information about you. If you log into a website, it'll store what's known as a session string about you so that the website knows, hey, this is so-and-so, and they're logged in, and now we know what information to pull up about them and stuff like that. Without cookies, you really wouldn't be able to have a logged in session anywhere. It's also how they can quickly say, hey, welcome, Jeff. You know, I don't know, you've been a member since random date, stuff like that. It can store very basic information about you, just enough so they can pull information from their database and talk to you about it. So they're not as intrusive as some people would make them out to be. Most of the stored information in a cookie is so that they can pull information from their database. The big problem comes when you go to website X and they store information, and then website Y knows how to pull that information. And that's usually because they have information sharing between the two of them. That's where privacy concerns come in. Little side tidbit for you. Yeah, query string, probably not stuff you're going to care about. So yeah, so this is little pieces of that. Not really relating back to our responsive or mobile versus desktop talk, but we did talk about it, so I figured I'd cover that. We did cover a little bit about how we can sync blocks. I can cover that again really quick. So here we have buttons, and here you can see I'm padding in there to the buttons that they're all going to cover over. Trying to think what else. Let's go to another section here. Any section that has repeated elements should be able to have this. So let's see, pricing tables. So again, you can see this pricing table. It's a column block. There's two columns. And again, it has the sync tab. Now you can see here that it's already got two different colors. So we're going to want to be a little careful about how we do things, but we could say, you know what, I actually want this to be small. And we're going to be able to copy that over. We can do something like, I don't know, will bold work on this? Yeah, probably not. So because these elements are kind of individualized, that won't work. But if we do something like justify item center, then we'll be able to do the justifications like that. So items on the individual text, not so much things like formatting. We should be able to get that kind of thing going on. What else? Is there another spot? Oh, query loop. this will probably be a good talk to do again sometime, or to do sometimes, the query loop. This is how you would display block types. So maybe I'll go into how to create block types and create query loops in a future talk. What else? Yeah, so I think that's about all we got. Let's do a quick recap. I'm going to turn off my screen sharing. So yeah, so basically today really the whole purpose was to kind of cover the idea of responsive design, purposes of why we wanted to display things one way versus another, and kind of discuss a little bit about different ways you could hide information, restack information, pay attention to one size versus another. And we even talked about syncing blocks so that you can make massive edits all at once, a nice feature built into Olli, and a few ways that Olli handles that responsive design, and a plugin that can help you with responsive design. If you have questions, once you see this video, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always happy to help. This is a good way of saying, you know what, the site looks great, except for on my phone, and I would love to do something about that. Now you have about 5 different ways you could try to handle that. If you have a question about what would be the best way, shoot me a link and I might be able to give you some quick assistance. I'm happy to do that as well. And if you have questions about our process and you're looking at maybe a redesign or maybe a new design with us, again, feel free to reach out. We have a pretty comprehensive process. It's simple, a lot of hand holding, and a lot of you sitting back and just waiting while we do the work. So you guys have a great Friday, a great whenever you watch this, and we hope to hear from you soon.